Hello, boys and girls, and welcome to the second episode on my Factorio playthrough of Factorio 1.0. So, I didn't do anything between episodes because I basically recording them back to back. What I did is just fill up all of the furnace and the miners with some new coals, so they will run while we work on the next step of improving our base. So the next step will be I want to go into power production. So power production will help us kind of get from the burning of coal in the machines to electric drills and assemblers and so on. And another thing I want to do this episode is get into the research. That is the research tree. So it's basically a huge thing that you have to do. A lot of technology that you can research and you have to research. Then there's also some end game research. When you are done, if basically what we want to do is like we want to research towards the white science. So we want to build a rocket silo, and for that rocket silo, which help us win or end the game story wise, after that, and then we want to get towards the white science pack or space science pack as it's called in the research. So you can see this, it's a huge tree and you have to research a lot. So I will not do that right now. First thing I will do, I will build up some power production. So what is the first power production available for Factorio? So the first is a boiler and the steam engine. So that is quite simple how it works. So the boiler takes water and coal, heats heats the water up with the coal, and then steam. And from that, you can power up to 2 steam engines from one boiler, and that will produce energy for you. Energy you then have to transport via power poles over here towards your machines and your factory. So I have multiple possible locations to build up some power, and for the sake of not angering those buyers very quickly, I will put my power production somewhere down here. So that means that the pollution that is generated will spread around here, and I will extend my power production quite a lot. And if we're gonna look at some of the things, so we have about 12 and 2, so each of those miners produce about 12 pollution per minute, which is quite a lot. So each of the tiles here have a certain absorption rate, and if you have trees, that's better, and so on. Therefore, I want to build my power production somewhere that is basically quite enclosed into trees because they have a lot of absorption rate. But one thing, I also don't want them too far away from where I want to build everything, and I have to bring the coal down here, which is actually quite unfortunate and I don't really like, but then because I will need to spend a lot of resources to build belts to get coal down here. So in the beginning it will be manual process where I have a chest here that is all the power generation. So without further ado, I will need an offshore pump. Offshore would also require a green circuit. I will build a boiler, 2 steam engines, and then I will have to run and gather some wood so I can build about, I don't know, about 30 or 40 power poles. So I will mine some of the trees. And then I will craft, just clear all of those. And now I reduce my pollution that can be absorbed here, but that gives me about 40 power poles. And with control and shift, you can manage how much will be produced. With control, it always puts 5 into the queue. With shift, all of it, all available or all producible. And with a single normal click, it's just items. So, another thing I will build is a burner inserter and probably an iron chest. So, one thing I want to do is I will have, as you can see, you have some arrows on that boiler, which means where is the water input and where's the water output. So one thing I want is I want to have the boiler. I can have it right next to the water because there's a steam pump. I will, if you push shift, you can go into planning mode. Put that here. So here I wanted to build my boiler. I need an offshore pump, which will sit right about here. That will connect to the boiler, and then I will have this up here. And then next to that, okay, well, good to know. That's double the production. I forgot about that. And then I also want a burner inserter and a chest here. So I have wanted to steam boilers. And what I will do is I will put one power pole right here, and then also maybe I will down here. You see, like this blue area indicates where the power pole distributes power to or gets power from. Is, as you can see, one thing is boilers saying me I don't have any fuel, and those steam generators say me we don't have any power connection. So I want to have the power connection. I want to have a power pole that can absorb that power and put it into the. One thing I will do, I will put down here, even though those are not needed, because I want to have it to connect later on, because I will have to put up a grid here, and I will network. I can see that, and you see that I have my first power pole distributed. So the first thing I need, basically what I will need, I know that I will see, I know that soon I will have a second and maybe power generation. I have a higher power consumption, therefore I will need a boiler. So I already try to plan ahead a bit, because that's how I play Factorio. So I have a little bit of space pre-planned, and then I know that I want power pole right about here and about here, and then I basically will not do that. I will wait because they can be 2 apart, and then I can walk here and upwards. So, and I have like power getting from down here to up here. So, first things first, I want to do, is I need to get coal out here, copper out here, distribute coal, go down here, get all iron out, get iron ore, and then I will put coal into all those machines so they are having some power, and I have a lot more stuff I can produce with. So that's it for basic power generation. So I will I don't need power yet, therefore I will not power it right away because I don't have any need for it, but I will get turning, and then what I'm going to do, I explain how the signs work. So to get to the stage where you can actually launch a rocket and win the game or finish the game, I have to do all the research. First research I have to do is automation. So it's the basic automation part which is required to advance more and more into the tech tree. What that gives me is an assembly machine. Assembly machine allows me to automatically produce any given item or some given item, because there is like 3 tiers of assembly machines. So to produce the items I need to get everything automated. And it would also give me long-handed inserters. Those are handy if you have larger gap to bridge between your machines. Another thing that is very important in the beginning is logistics. Logistics gives me the opportunity to have underground belts and splitters. So if we go to my inventory, you can see here that I have the ability to produce belts, which I will do. 20 or so they can produce while we're waiting. So those belts allow me to transport stuff from A to B, and with underground belts and splitters I can split and merge and get under other belts and other machines, which is really handy. So one thing I want to produce first, because I don't need those kinds, what I need first is basically automation, because I want to start automate, especially to produce science. I have to research that. To get into the research, we have a factory that's called lab. The one thing I will do, I will build a lab, which means I will cancel quite a lot of those. So I will basically get a lab, and then after that I will have to craft 10 red science packs, or as it's called, the automation science pack. I just call it red science pack because automation science pack is a very long and tedious name to say all the time, so it's just the red one, the red shoes as you can call it. This science lab I will need to hook up to power. So in order to work, I will put it down here just for the argument's sake. I will need to put onto power. You see there's a power symbol. Hey, I need power. I need about 60 kilowatts of power to work. And then what I will do, I will put all those science packs into that, and then we'll casually transform time after time here in 10-second steps towards automation. So in order that I can do anything, I need power. I only get power if I have coal, so I grab the coal from my coal generation, run all the way down towards my boiler, and I will put that in the chest. You see the burns are taking the fuel out of the chest because the burn itself needs coal to function. Therefore, it's a good strategy time that you have you have a next here that is the normal inserter. The normal inserter needs power to work. So one thing I always do if I start building my factory is that I have all my power generation hooked up to burner inserters, because burner inserters, they take the fuel that also the boilers need to function and use that fuel to power itself. So in the case that fuel runs out or power runs out, my boilers still have something burner inserted that is powered and has the possibility to power. So one thing we see, because my steam boilers are not working anymore because I don't have power. Oh yeah, I'm out of power packs. And as soon as that starts, you can see that those steam engine are starting to puff out some smoke and working again. I barely need any power, and if you hit P, see your production values, and then if you go onto one of those poles, see what uses how much power, and you can see we have barely any production because we did produce about 1.9 megawatts per cycle. We can produce that, but we only use about 60 kilowatts right now. So we are fully satisfied, and if you see, I don't have much, but all the power finished my first research. So I have now the possibility to build assembly machines, and those are really handy because those assembly machines allow me to automate production. But time is running already short, and I thank you very much for watching again. I hope you enjoyed the content I provide, and I'm always eager to hear feedback, so leave a like or dislike, and consider subscribing if you liked my content. So thank you very much. Have a great day.